I should have smoked weed before I got here.
Hold on, I have to think of something clever to say.
Open up, Colorado. It's 420. Time to grind and burn.
This is not your son's stoner show.
Welcome to the Cannabis Community Project, broadcasting live from the Ding Studios at 3835 Elm Street in Denver, Colorado. It's the Grind and Burn Show with your host, Brainstorm.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
2017. Have you started your business yet? Have you thought about your cannabis idea? Don't hesitate until next year. Email me at brainstorm@cannabiscommunityproject.com.
So by my side and I'm back on my own. No place to go, no place to call home. So by my side and I'm all alone. This is by my
Oh, it's so good to be back. Thank you very much and welcome. It has been a journey. Those of you loyal, dedicated fans, cannapreneurs who follow me, listen to me, have been there all along. Those of you, you know who you are. I really feel like this is going to be the year. This is going to be the year that just so much can happen. I mean, not just the possibility and the opportunities, but so much is going to happen. I'm underlining the is and putting it in italics and making it bold because I'm saying so much is going to happen. And I can already feel it. I want you right now who's listening, if you're within the Denver area, you have to come down to the studio. Because if you listen to the show and if you listen more than once and you're in the area, there's no reason why we shouldn't know each other. There's no reason why we shouldn't at least do one of those, little handshake where you just slap the hands across and fist bump. We can at least do that, right? There's going to be expansion to the show. Not so much changes. I mean, it's still going to be the same show that you're hearing now, that you've been hearing, but I'm going to bring more. I mean, every time I move forward to a new year, I have to just think about where I came from, how it all started. I mean, the Cannabis Community Project, the goal is to investigate every aspect of cannabis as a way to create business, fuel economic growth, locate career opportunities, right? This is not your son's stoner show. Few people know that CCP was founded after my brother passed away a few years ago from a hard fight with leukemia. He lost that battle right around late 2009. But he was able to inspire me with his work in cannabis. He was a top grower in the Emerald Triangle, all the way up from Sacramento down to San Diego. Basically lived his life as a top shelf grower, working out of his home, using his bedrooms as grow rooms and supplying, just a handful of pounds on a cycle basis. And that was his living. And ironically, when he got sick, some of the access to the cannabis medicine that we have today in concentrates and capsules and some of the high potent stuff people are using to fight these battles just wasn't really that prevalent, even in California, even in 2009. Trust me, he smoked heavily. But when you're dying from leukemia, you don't just need flour. And that's really what brought me to the point of wanting to do something more. I mean, I'm not a grower myself, but I am very passionate about cannabis and a few other topics. So I took what I knew I could do. I took the topics I was interested in. Cannabis, media, business. And I formed the CCP radio show in memory of him. This idea of being a cannapreneur in this business to make life changes and positive societal changes. Yeah, I went off to school and got an education. Yeah, I've done other businesses. Yeah, I've worked for corporations. All that's meaningless. It means absolutely nothing compared to what I'm doing right now. And what we all have the potential to do and be part of. This is the digital age. This is the cannabis age. And this is the age where literally anybody can be an entrepreneur because the opportunity is so abundant. Sometimes all you need is just somebody to lift that veil and show you that it's right there in front of you. And that is my hope of this show. That if we can focus on details associated with starting a business in the cannabis industry, and if we can highlight people like patients and even the users, consumers, retailers, even those geeks in the garage that are creating the innovation in cannabis and all the extraction technology and the next device and paraphernalia and vape and this, all those people out there who are using their brain power to make this industry better. Well, this is the media platform that it's all going to funnel through right here. The Cannabis Community Project and all the podcasts that come with it. We're going to be exploring these topics. All of it together. Together we can build this industry and focus on the issues like health and legal issues, even food, even the art and music. Yes, in cannabis, art and music. And of course the basics like growing technologies and other types of innovation. We can crowdsource this show together. You and I, all you gotta do is get involved, participate, listen, share the show with your friends, go to the website, explore the sponsors, see what's there, because all it takes is interaction, movement. We can get people employed, right? There are thousands of business opportunities, and even more once hemp production begins. Together, we can get this industry up and growing and up and going. We can start living life again. Do you have a business? An idea? Maybe you're in full swing right now and you want to share it. Maybe you need some help, like how do I actually do marketing? I've never done that, even for cannabis. How do I form a business legally with the state? How do I take my idea and protect it, intellectual property, before I get it manufactured? Well, together with my guests and my correspondents, we can cover all these topics that just happen to focus on cannabis. It's a business show that focuses on cannabis. So through the basics, we're going to learn it. There is money to be made. There's money to be made through a legitimate industry, so we might as well get people legitimately employed in it. Because a lot of you, maybe like me, were former criminals because of pot, right? Pot. I haven't smoked pot since high school. We can turn these into cannabis careers. Let this show help you. Help you grow a garden, help you save money, help you start a business, help you network, help you communicate, help you express yourself in your industry through your art. See, this is one industry that can save the Colorado economy as well as the U.S. economy. And like many, from rural farmers and towns to industry jobs, it's all kind of dying with the infrastructure that's in place and the economy that's kind of functioning. So now is the time to do something. And what a perfect year. A presidential election year of all things, where people get motivated, people get educated, people are ready to make change. See, the infrastructure is already in place. All we have to do is just use it and modify it to cannabis. We can make it happen. You can make it happen. This is just as much of an issue for those retiring as those newly entering the workforce. It's time to get involved and show the world how to shift that money from jails, courts, and hospitals to shops, farms, and fabrication, all taxed and positively industrialized. Join me. My name is Brainstorm. I am a cannapreneur building a show for and like-minded people. I'm changing the lives of individuals by helping them find opportunities as entrepreneurs. I believe in the saying, you are what you do and think about most of the time. I created the Cannabis Community Project to find like-minded people who have a similar story and desire. Grind and burn!
We support this show by selling products for our sponsors. We do that through the Cannabis Community Store, and I want to encourage you to check it out because we have some great products there. This show is brought to you live every week by the support of our sponsors, and we want to return the favor by letting them know our listeners are there for them. www.cannabiscommunitystore.com.
I'm not your average MC, I do things a bit different. I don't use an entourage to help boost my appearance. Just an empty stage in my God-given wisdom. I don't need a hype man, cause my delivery, it's wicked. Keep your motivation, I got endless perseverance. I've been joined to the sound since before my body's entrance. I've been twisting lyrics ever since I was an infant. If you need some more proof, well, most can tell by how I ripped it. Playing in my sandbox with Hot Wheels dipping, staying conscious of a human who's a self-proclaimed gifted, who understands all based solely on on appearance when it comes to knowing self. Roger Houston, yeah, we've lost transmission. Access was denied for any clearance. No worries, they can come back when they're ready for a difference. For a small cover fee, they can take my whole vision. I'm not most MCs, missing steps inside my mission. Half tripping, half witted, basically just uncommitted. For those hungry fans left, it's chow time, now come and get it. A positive experience is all they could remember. It's all they could remember. Let's jump right back into this flow. Was that a smile on your face? Well, it must be a miracle. Last time I saw that, Jordan slam dunk from the free throw. Smack down just like Grandmammy's meatloaf. Straight good times, there's no flexing the egos. Just keeping good vibes. You know us people in street clothes come together with rhymes. Communication is love. We're all involved in this fight. It's up to you what you like, and I'll be doing my part. Just help me plug in my mics. In time of hardship, my job is keeping it hype. And for a split second, we'll forget about life. The medicine man, come and dance with your tribe. We're living in the minute and we're slowing down time. It's funny how this funk can alter your mind. You know I'm speaking this truth. You know I'm telling it right. Controller of this pace for the rest of my life. If anybody says different, they're probably high. Ask them where they get it and how much we could buy.
Hello.
Hello, Danesh. Oh, hey, how you doing, man?
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, excellent. This is out here in Denver, Colorado.
Excellent. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing very good, man. Glad we were able to finally connect.
Yeah, right on.
Where are you at? You're in Canada, right?
Yeah, I'm up in Vancouver, Canada. Just outside of Vancouver.
Okay, nice.
Hey, good afternoon. My name's Danesh. I'm the owner and man behind Optic Foliar, based out of Vancouver, BC, and just had the company for about 6 years now. So it started just growing in my closet, really just, as a hobby, wanting to grow it myself and learn more about that. Years ago, that's it really started when you really think about it. And from there, I was fortunate enough to have a friend of mine work in a hydro shop and, bumped into him one day and he got me a job in a hydro shop. And so that was pretty cool because I wanted to learn more about growing, but it was more than just growing. It was all the equipment, how it relates to the plant and the nutrients and additives and just so many different, getting a job in a hydro shop. I got to learn a lot from a lot of different people and the exposure to a lot of different growers and products and whatnot at the time. And like many people, when it came to foliar spraying, there's a set of rules you follow. Spraying with the lights off, washing it off, getting the undersides. Sometimes you're pHing a spray, trying to target a certain temperature in the grow room. So, those are a lot of rules and, people, follow them or use them to varying degrees. And part of it also included, using like wetters and spreaders and stickers, or some people use dish soap. So just learning a lot about just growing in the industry. And after working in a hydro shop for a number of years, I had the opportunity to work for a nutrient company and wholesale company. And, I was able to do that and go out, and that really gave me the opportunity to travel a lot more right across North America and allowed me to go to Europe and even Australia a few times, which was really cool. But all of it for hydro and promoting and learning about nutrients and nutrition and plant nutrition. And just over the course of all the years, there's one segment of the industry that was just really, really neglected, in my opinion. It was the foliar spray angle. And when I say this foliar spray angle, I say it because we spend a lot of time focusing on nutrients and lighting and additives, and those are all really important factors. But after a certain point, you can only put so many lights and so many nutrients and additives in the tank or feeding your roots. The method of truly feeding your plants through the leaves was never being utilized. So I mentioned spreaders and stickers. What I learned and what I discovered in my research and my time reaching out to people and learning more is that in tests that we did, we were trying to get a solution into the plant. It wasn't really getting effectively absorbed. So the thing that we wanted to find out is when we're spraying, how much of it is actually affecting bugs or mildew or giving the plant nutrition and trying to feed the plant, how much of it was getting in. And something really important that comes out is that the leaf section of the plant is something that's so overlooked, but it's so important in the plant's growth that we should be looking at it more. Now, of course, I'm biased, and because I'm with a foliar spray company, I sell foliar spray products. But what the thing I want people to look at, and I try and educate people on, is within the leaf. If we magnified it 1,000 times or 10,000 times, there's a giant factory inside, and that factory is called the mesophyll layer, Palisade mesophyll layer, if you like. And in that region, whether you're growing outdoors or in a greenhouse or whatever, light depth or indoors, you're using some form of light, sunlight, natural sunlight, or HID, hydroponic lighting, Avitas, whatever. And on the other end, you're using some sort of nutrition. Well, in order for the plant to utilize any of that light energy and use that nutrition, it has to get into the plant's Palisade mesophyll layer. And it does so naturally because that's what a plant does. But when we're foliar spraying, we're not getting the spray into the Palisade mesophyll layer. And that was a big problem. So we're getting light energy in with our lighting. We're getting nutrition up from the root zone to the leaves. But when we were foliar spraying, and it didn't matter what type of spreader sticker we're using, we were getting coverage, that's for sure. We could try and spray it up the stomata, but we weren't getting the spray to the mesophyll layer. And so we set out to figure out how do we get the spray to the mesophyll layer. Because if there's light getting generated, processed there, and if the nutrition is getting processed there, then it only made sense to get a foliar spray into the leaves rather than coating a leaf. So that was part of the discovery angle that we went on, because the foliar spraying just wasn't working and there was nothing moving it forward. There's no evolution. There's no change. There was no innovation. That's what I kind of set out to do, because we weren't using the foliar spray enough. And I was just trying to work on different ways of making that spray more effective. One of the things we did is we talked to some local universities and we did these little dye tracer tests. And what it involved is we took actively grown plants and we mixed in a dye tracer with spray solutions. We mixed in different wetters. We tried different wetters. We tried different stickers. We tried different dish soaps, and we sprayed them all on. And what we found is they would coat the plant, but they would never get to the mesophyll layer. So what we then developed was a new technology to actually take a spray and get it into the leaves, into the mesophyll layer with our transport technology. And that became a game changer for us, because when we took that same test of mixing a spray with a green dye to see where it went in the plant and then view it through a microscope, what we saw was that with our transport solution, we can literally get any spray into the plant's factory or mesophyll layer, and it was able to get utilized right away. And what we discovered with it was, more importantly, that we were able to do it within 30 minutes or less.
Wow. So that was an excellent, very full, detailed. That's the great thing about podcasting, is that you can kind of let people talk in a long form and make it work in the form of podcasting. That's the great thing about podcasting versus radio, is that you can give a 10-minute description of what you're talking about. Obviously, a detailed subject about growing and more from a technical standpoint, but something that I don't know if it's something that here's what I'm looking for. Is this a product that you're for a commercial or an individual grower?
For both.
For both. Okay.
When I take my experience from being a grower to working in retail and traveling around to stores, and our community, the people that grow, whether they're growing 2 plants or 200, we want to have a solution for all of them at a reasonable rate that can help any one of them at any given stage. Because, we have a solution, but it's a low cost solution that helps a lot of different growers, whether you're big or small. We have small customers that we deal with. We have a lot of big customers that we deal with, and everyone in between. So there's an option for everyone we have.
Are you exclusive to Canada, or are you selling in the U.S. and other parts also?
We've been available in the U.S. for a number of years. Of course, we're selling in Canada. We've been available in Canada for years. We've started selling in the U.K. as well as Greece, and hopefully looking at some other countries we'll be dealing with in the future as well.
So you've been doing this for 5 years, and you said you're a one-man show?
No, started off, myself and a little help from the family as well, the wife and all that. But now, we got a few people working for us and looking for some salespeople to expand our team as well.
When you started off by yourself, how did you do that? Did you self-finance through credit cards and family debt? Did you seek investors? Did you raise crowdfunding?
I just did it myself. So, dipped in my savings, dipped into loans and all that. And, I didn't want to have partners because my vision was my vision, and it's hard to put a price on my vision, what I believe in a product, and have someone else change it. Because I've worked retail, because I've been a grower, my interest is in trying to help my customer, because we don't just want them to get something that we're trying to promote and market as something that is for money alone. We want to actually show you a benefit. And that's something that we're able to show a lot of our customers, is that when they use our products, they get a visual benefit. It makes things more cost effective and synergistic for them. And that's really important for me, because part of how I've made the products the best I can, because in some cases we can't add natural organic pyrethrums or neem oils or azadirachtin oils, because different states have different laws, different countries have different laws. So where I'd love to really be able to add like natural ingredients to some products, we can't because of state regulations. So kind of limits my real dream in some products. But, we still try and do it the best we can without, putting anything like breaks like the local state laws or country laws and all that.
Do you remember the first sale you made of this product after you had finished the testing, the prototyping, and bringing it to market? The first time you made an actual sale, do you remember that?
Yeah, we had a few sales right to the gate, which was really nice, because some friends from before that had stores, outside of some of the regulars. Yeah, I definitely remember some stores that came up out of the blue and said, hey, we'd love to stock your product. So yeah, always remember some of those first ones, definitely.
How did you go about seeking them out? What form of marketing or sales process did you use at the beginning?
It's a different industry than it was 15 years ago. The laws have changed so much. The regulations have changed so much in places like Colorado and Washington, and even recently like California and Florida, and even Canada where I'm at. The laws have changed up here radically over the last few years. So it's opening up so much more. So marketing today and marketing 15 years ago, when, the industry was much smaller, it's a whole different can of worms. There was easier ways of marketing 15 years ago. You could do the traditional magazine and, you dump enough money in that and make enough rounds to a few shops, and, you start picking up some good sales if you got a decent product. Now you're competing in online forums and Facebook and Instagram, in-store, different events, trade shows. So it's a whole different ball game nowadays than it was 15 years ago. So it all comes down to money. So it gets to be a bit of a challenge, but when you're a smaller company trying to get out there. But the thing I've always tried to focus on is retail stores, and also trying to reach out to customers directly, because no matter what we do in marketing, I think if we have a good name amongst our customers, they talk more about our products or sell our products better than anybody else. So we've had some long-term customers that are just growers that I still email or email me every once in a while. And it's really cool because they've been using our products for years, and they still send me pictures and, what's going on. I see them in different forums. So it's pretty cool. But a lot of different people we get to meet.
On a daily basis, what two things do you do as part of either your personal responsibilities or as a company that you have to do to stay in business, where if you stop doing this, your business might go out of business? What two things are so consistent to your business?
We're a manufacturer. So, I take that really seriously in terms of when we bottle and we make our product, we want to make sure that the consumer is always getting the same product. Because I worked in the nutrition industry for so many years, and, just in the hydroponic and the retail environment, in the wholesale end of it, I'm familiar with how to make certain nutrients and additives, but it's not an arena I want to get into. The foliar market in my industry is very underserved, and that's the niche we try to fill. So one, just stick to what we do best, and that's foliar and foliar solutions. And number two, manufacturing and making sure that, we got our production down, and what we're doing and what we're bottling is what we're sending to our customer, and that's what we want them to get. And, we want them to get a consistent product every time and the best product every time so that when they use it, they're always getting the results that they expect from us.
Do you still make sales calls personally?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. To retail stores?
As part of your general activities, whether to retail customers, do you pursue sales as if you were just a sales representative of the company and not necessarily the owner, CEO, etc.?
Yeah, my strength is sales, so I definitely try and make site visits out to retail stores again, I-502 customers in Washington, and just trying to reach out to more of the large scale companies so that we can do site visits, show them different spray programs, IPM programs, integrated pest management programs. We can steer them towards safer products and a spray program that's safe, doesn't give any residuals, and uses natural products like neem oils and pyrethrins and azadirachtin and such. So they're all safe and preventative. And then touching on what we do with our transport is we show you how to spray with the lights on with no damage or burning, no residuals. And in the case of using it with pesticides, any natural pesticide, you can use it at half strength with the lights on, no damage, no burning, no residuals, and you're only spraying the tops of the leaves, not the undersides. And when I say that sparks another conversation to get a group of my customers excited because they'll say, well, the undersides is where the stomata are. And it's absolutely true, and that's where the opening is to get in. But what we're doing by spraying through the tops and using transport is we've made this little highway to the mesophyll layer, and it takes that pesticide spray and puts it into the plant's mesophyll layer, making it systemic.
I feel like I need a dictionary to to get through some of these words. I'm not sure what half of them mean. I'm not a grower myself, so I don't have a lot of the insights to growing, definitely not from a deep technical standpoint. But do you find when you're out there, talking to retail stores that they're concerned about the technical aspect of the biology in the plant, or are they just looking for cheaper products to get the job done?
A bit of both. You need a bit of the technical to know. Growers are getting smarter. They know so much more. There's so much information out there. So, yeah, we got to provide them the technical info on what's different, because if there's no reason to help them or solve a problem, then there's no reason for them to buy it. We are one of the lower cost products, so that does help them in the retail end of it as well.
Is there a measurable yield of something that is measurable, like it produces X amount more by using this product? Is that the type of claim that you're working on?
That's one of them. We can increase growth, increase the yield, reduce damage to the plant. We have solutions for like bugs and fungus in late stages of flower. So there's a number of different solutions we offer.
Do you have to personally understand the regulation of each of these states you want to sell in to better sell the product, or is growing kind of universal regardless of specific state regulation of how people are growing?
It's pretty universal. It's just that each state has its own different laws. So some of them don't mind having an organic ingredient, where some of them do, and they want it listed differently and registered differently. Sometimes we just avoid like adding some of the organic ingredients or some of the different ingredients because they want them listed, and you have to have then like 20 different labels because each different state wants its own label. So it's universal in that sense, where it's a similar formulation you can sell to every state, but the labels in each different state can vary just because in some states they want you to label more stuff, in other states they want you to label less stuff. So it gets a little bit confusing for the consumer when we're trying to market it in different states.
If there were one barrier that you could eliminate, like you were given the power to change the law or the system or procedure, what one thing would you do different to make the business aspect a little more facilitated, a little lubricated, just make things easier from what you're trying to do? Do you have any major barriers in front of you?
I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. So that's one big barrier, I think, between the consumer and what we're trying to do is because of different state label laws, we have to follow their label laws, and we're not able to give as much information as we would like to sometimes. So that's a really big barrier, because trying to list certain claims and back it up is really costly for the smaller companies, and even some of the bigger companies, it can get really expensive. where we'd love to like guarantee things and say things, that's where it gets challenging because you're going to spend so much money trying to prove that you just want to just give up and, because there's nothing you can really do. So just being able to give more information on the bottles, on how to use it, what's in it, what it's going to do for you. That's, I think, one of the biggest challenges, just trying to communicate with the customer.
What percentage of your time would you say is dedicated towards compliance, just trying to maintain compliance in your business actions?
As a nutrient company, we just got to make sure we keep our registrations up to date in different states. And other than that, we file quarterly or yearly sales reports and pay a tonnage fee. So, it takes a few hours a month, but it's something that once it's set up and you just got to make sure you manage it.
What about from a cost perspective? What is the biggest cost on your product or business, including everything from compliance standards to marketing to just the raw product and manufacturing? What would you say your biggest cost is?
Labor is definitely one of the biggest ones. We employ people and we're happy to employ people, but that's definitely one of the biggest costs. And then right after that, it's overhead.
Labor, you're just a small company, so a handful of people. So each person probably holds multiple hats of roles, and each person has a little bit more weight with them. Being a smaller company, how do you take the risk in your hiring? Do you just put jobs on job boards and hire whoever applies? Do you spend long months vetting people out? How do you navigate that?
You can put posts or job ads on any different posting, and you can interview all you want. I think in time I've just learned that they can interview great or they can interview bad. You never know what they're going to be like until they really start. So I think the thing I've learned over the years is, I just give some people a chance, and some of them float and do great, and some of them sink and doesn't work out, and just the way it is. So, I'm fortunate that the guys that I have, they've been with us for quite a few years, and really happy to have them, and they've just done well. So, yeah, it's worked out really well.
Nice. Do you have exit plans of growing the company and then selling? Is this your bread and butter until you retire? What is the long-term vision with this company?
This is my job. This is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. That's how I see it today. That's how I probably see it in 10 years and 20 years. Because, even if I did walk away, what else would I do? This is still what I gravitate to every day anyway. So it's kind of a lifestyle thing as well. So, yeah, no, it's something that I want to keep building and, just see where it takes us.
When you're hiring people, do they have to have that same lifelong dedication, or can you hire somebody knowing they may not be at the same passionate level as you or looking at it as a lifelong job? How do you look at the human resource in comparison to the passion and lifelongness of what you're doing?
Well, for me, it's a passion. It's a lifelong thing because I'm involved in the sales and the heart of the company. I think for other jobs, it really depends what the job is and if that relates. So for the sales guy, for someone in sales, being in the industry, wanting to be in the industry, having a background in it, and being part of the culture, I think that's a definite prerequisite. For me, it would be a definite prerequisite. Maybe not for anyone, but I just think you kind of need it because it helps you relate to the customer, know where they're coming from. If we don't know what our customer is doing and what they're experiencing, then we can't truly offer them good advice and understand what they're going through.
Absolutely, yeah. That's always, I'm kind of the same way because I'm me and a handful of people, so I'm always considering the same issues, and I always like to hear what other people have to say. That's mostly the questions I'm asking. Is just they're questions I ask myself. I'm kind of trying to see what other people, how they navigate life and business and keep things afloat.
Yeah.
There's always the issue of, well, what do I do next? Well, do I need to do something next? Well, if I do something next, is it a failure or a success of what I'm leaving from? There's all these questions, especially in an industry that is uncertain but has the appearance of being a solid industry in the future. Cannabis. I don't know what it's like in Canada, but here in the U.S., it's growing fast, but it feels like for every step forward we take 2 steps back. So there's a lot of uncertainty, despite the fact that it's probably one of the fastest growing industries, at least in my home state of Colorado here. The reason I was actually a little bit running late today was I was just coming from the MED office, which is the Marijuana Enforcement Division, renewing my license badge. So I was just going through that process today, and the regulation here in Colorado, I'm sure is, well, I actually have no idea what the regulation legalization in Canada is like. So I don't,
Yeah.
I have no way to compare it from any
Yeah.
standpoint of what it's like to live in Canada with cannabis versus what it's like to live in the U.S. with cannabis. I'm sure there's a lot of similarities and a lot of overlap. What is your futuristic outlook, if you had to guess, right? You have the crystal ball of what the future will bring for cannabis, excluding borders, right? Excluding Canada, U.S. laws, and what's happening with the new president and all that kind of stuff. Just in general, what is your outlook with cannabis for the future?
What I would like to see in a perfect world would I think that would address everyone's concerns and make it fair and equal. First off, obviously, just legalize it. Just legalize it, okay? Get it off the books. Just legalize it. And if you want to grow it, then just like people get a hunting license or a fishing license, you would get a grow license yearly, get it at a grow shop, and, we could base it on lights or square foot. We could figure that out. That's easy. So that allows... You can put a $25 fee that the store makes on it, or the stores can do the registration once a year. They already sell the grow equipment. They already charge tax on it, the nutrients and everything else that growers need. And beyond that, if they wanted more money, allow dispensaries to operate, put the normal rules we need in place that everyone agrees on, keep them away from schools and over 18 or 21 only, and so on, and put a tax on it, $1 a gram. You split it between the local city or the county and the state, and everybody wins.
Right.
It's just a complete win-win situation. You don't need all the bureaucracy. The concerns that come up about the pest control products and what people use and all that, well, we regulate. You have to register those with EPA or the Department of Colorado or Agriculture in California or whatever state, as well as the nutrients, whether it's My Spray or a nutrient solution that guys use, Bloom additive. We all register them with the state. So the electrical products, they're all UL listed, so those are all wired properly. So there's not a lot of holdups. Again, though is the funny thing about our industry is we can make the funny comparisons to like alcohol and, do we limit how much alcohol people are allowed to buy? Because I'd love to see that. The reaction of people would be quite comical. But we wouldn't need all the bureaucracy. It would just be, we got the grow shops, there's the infrastructure, establish a grow license, everyone's got the internet so they can do it online, and charge tax on the dispensaries, $1 a gram, and let small business operate, let small business thrive. This silly note that government wants to make huge monopolies, I think, is just ridiculous. They're trying to, put a lot of small businesses out of business, which I think is completely wrong. And it's proven over and over again that small businesses are the driver of an economy. They employ more people, they pay better, they provide stable jobs, and they're just a bigger driver of economies, local, federal, nationwide. So get away from the monopoly model, let the small business environment thrive, and don't put small businesses out. We don't need all the bureaucracy.
I agree. I agree. Nothing there I would disagree with. Do you think the U.S. president or changes affects Canada's legislation or businesses in any way?
Well, we're already going to be legalizing in the new year. And, they're talking about a plant count of 4 up here, being able to possess 30 grams.
An ounce, basically.
Yeah, an ounce, basically. So we're going to do it right across the country. I think regardless of what happens with Trump becoming the president, I think we're going to be going legal anyways, and it's just we're just too far beyond it.
I pretty much have the same opinion. I don't think Trump is going to affect that much of what's happening, just as GW couldn't really stop the early 2000s, and Obama, well, he kind of helped and hurt. When he came into office, there was a big explosion, and then he spent the next 8 years trying to make that tamper down as much as possible by allowing the DEA to pretty much run rampant however they wanted all over the industry. So it was kind of positive and negative. I mean, it was positive when he came into the office that it really became public, and is when the industry really took off. That's 2012 is when Colorado, got the legalization law. It was kind of from that point on when things started to grow. But he didn't really do his part as he could have to make the industry grow or be safe. and thrive as it should be. So with that being said, I don't think Trump, whether he's pro or con, is going to have much effect regardless of the administration he puts in office, because most of these things are happening on state levels despite the federal legislation in place.
Yeah.
You know, I think your industry is safe. My industry is safe. I think we're probably good for the future.
Yeah.
Is there any major message or anything you want to give people as we kind of go out of this conversation? Anything you want to make sure they understand? Anything you wanted to deliver to make sure that you got to say before we went out?
You know, we got some videos on YouTube. I think it would just help visualize what I was trying to explain earlier. We've evolved foliar spraying, and it's just a different way we have of feeding the plants that's faster. We can guarantee delivery. And, you know, if you are a grower, a new grower, an experienced grower, one thing we'll do is we got a 30-minute foliar delivery guarantee, meaning it gets into the plant and it gets used right away. And we just increase your light input, your nutrient uptake, and just make the synergy of everything much more productive. So check us out on YouTube. Hit me up online anytime. We're always free to answer any questions. And just keep growing it wherever you are. We're Canada, U.S. I get down to the U.S. a lot, so meet a lot of great people out there, and everyone's slowly growing more and more and more. And the more people that do it, it makes it harder for all the governments to stop us, because what are they going to do? Our industry is so cool and so innocent, and we've been made out to be villains and evil people for so long. In my family, I was always the bad guy because the industry I was in, and now all of a sudden they're like, "Geez, you're genius," and some people are still like, you're still the bad guy, but the world's changing, and finally people realize that people in our industry and our community, and people like me and you and our friends, we're not these evil people. We're all cool people. We're all chill. We all have jobs and normal lives, and keep growing, man. That's a big one.
Yes.
Just keep growing and having fun.
Absolutely. What was once my barrier is now my foundation. Cannabis used to make me unemployable. Now I voluntarily am unemployable because I choose to work in cannabis. But it's not a bad thing, because it used to be the thing that made me a little tarnished, or maybe not eligible for this job or this part of life. And now it's the foundation I stand on. It's the thing I stick my flag in and pronounce as who I am and what I do. And that's how I preach it to everybody else, is don't let it be a barrier. Let it be a foundation, and keep moving forward. Let's make sure contact information was clear, because there might be a few people who want to contact you to have a conversation or two. So let's make sure that you put out either your email or your phone number, the website, and any social media.
Yeah, opticfoliar.com. That's OPTICFOLIAR, opticfoliar.com. The email address is just sales@opticfoliar.com. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, of course. You can check out our videos. Instagram, I'm usually on there as well, so check out any one of those, and you can always email us. I'm always happy to answer questions. But yeah, check out our videos. They give us some info, and feel free to contact us anytime. sales@opticfoliar.com.
Excellent. Thank you very much for your time. And when you do come to Colorado, please stop by the studio here. Stop by and check out the dispensary where I broadcast from.
Hell yeah, look forward to it.
Yeah, it's a great place. Colorado, we're at about 23 degrees Fahrenheit here. What are you doing up there?
Oh, okay. Well, we've okay, I got to do the conversion because we're -6 right now or something like that.
-6 Celsius.
Yeah.
So,
and we got to.
I think that's just cold. Isn't that what the C stands for in
Celsius?
Celsius?
I think that's about 25 Fahrenheit.
So then maybe that's about the same then of what we are now. So we're just below freezing. So 32 freezing, and we're at about 23 degrees. It's expected to drop down to 9 tonight.
Yeah.
So we're well below freezing here, but it's going to be a great winter.
Yeah, we're on the coast and we don't usually get snow in the city, but we got hit early and we got another snowstorm coming tonight and through the weekend, so it'll be good. But, I like snow at this time of year. It makes the city pretty and makes my Christmas lights look better. So Merry Christmas, everyone, as well.
Excellent. Well, I wish you a Merry Christmas, and please do keep in touch. And when you come to Colorado, let's make sure that we connect.
Absolutely. For sure. Thank you for your time as well.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
There you go, Cannapreneurs. Thank you for joining me this week. Make sure to come back next week. We'll be talking to even more guests from the industry, from the government, from the entrepreneur world. Make sure to reach out to us on all the social media, Massroots, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and any place else, all under the same name, CannabisCommunityProject.com. We'll see you next week.
I'm